In this video, I'm going to tell you about my 15-hour session. You heard right, so stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about valuable information that comes up in my past life regression sessions. If any of these topics are of interest to you, please hit the red subscribe button down below to subscribe to this channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back. A few days ago, I had a 15-hour session. Yes, you heard right, 15 hours. We started at 10 in the morning, and she didn't get picked up until 1:15 in the morning. Well, let me tell you, this session was amazing. Now you're probably wondering, like, are most sessions like this? No, most sessions are pretty long. They're usually between 5 and 7 hours, depending. But this one was very special because she had a lot of trauma. So here's how it begins. The client goes onto my website and they schedule an appointment. Then I send them an email with all the directions, basically, what they need to do to prepare, how do they write their questions for us to ask the higher self. And then what they do is they email me the questions the night before. This way I have time to prepare. Now, my sessions always start at 10 in the morning because I want to make sure I have enough time for the entire day, just in case the session runs longer. So normally what happens is the client comes in at 10 in the morning, and what we do is we sit down and I get to know the client a little bit better. So I'll find out basically, things like how they're doing health-wise. I want to know, are there any symptoms that they're experiencing? And I want to know about their job, what they do. I also want to know about them. I like to go all the way to the beginning when they were first born. I want to know about family dynamics. I like to know about any traumas that they may have endured during their lifetime. So it can get pretty lengthy, but generally 3 hours is enough time for an interview. So for this 15-hour session, the interview lasted from 10 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening. And the reason why that one took so long was because there was a lot of trauma. And it was really important that we talked about it. Usually what I like to tell my clients is when they walk in the door, they come in with their baggage. And what we do is we sit down, we open it up, and then we take out one thing at a time. We talk about it, and then when they're ready to let it go, then we throw it in the corner. And so when they're done, they can leave with no baggage. That's always the goal. So in this particular case, there was a lot of stuff, a lot of baggage that we had to go through, and that's why it took so long. But I don't rush the process. It takes as long as it takes, and I'm patient. So I want to make sure that the client is clear when they leave here. I want to make sure that they are complete. Then after the interview, what we'll do is I will go over all the questions that the client sent me, and we'll go one by one. It's amazing though, usually what happens is during the interview, a lot of the questions get answered, which is really good. So we're able to, cross off a lot of questions on the list. Then what I do is I have the client lay down in a bed and I have them close their eyes and I begin a very calm meditation. And it involves being able to visualize. So I'll ask them to see a series of things. So if you're thinking about a session, whether it be with me or with another practitioner, this might be something that you may want to practice. You may want to practice your visualization because that's what the whole process is about. It's about having your eyes closed and being able to see and follow along what I'm saying. Okay, so then once we do that, then we wind up going back to a past life. Now, not everybody actually experiences a past life. Some people do. I've had people who've had no past lives. This was their very first time here on earth. If you do go to a past life, I'll guide you. I'll guide you through the different scenes, and usually what we'll do is we'll go to 3 important days in that lifetime, and then we'll go to the death of that lifetime to see how you died. You'll always be able to see it as an observer, and you'll never have any physical sensations. Then I ask to speak to the higher self, and that's when the magic happens. because I'll ask the questions that the client has brought with them and we get the answers, and it's amazing to witness. After the questions, then I ask the higher self to do a full body scan. And that's also pretty amazing because the higher self is able to detect any problems, any illnesses. The higher self has the ability to identify and tell me what physical ailments exist in the body. And from there, I can then ask why. Why are they present? And then ask them to heal it. And usually they will say yes, they will heal it. Sometimes they can do it instantaneous. Other times they say they'll do it while the client is sleeping. A lot of times, just knowing about why you have the symptoms can alleviate it. Because now that you know, you can let it go. You can forgive yourself, you can forgive others, you can let it go. After we're done with the QHHT part, then what I like to do is I like to talk about what happened. The next thing I like to do is what I call a forgiveness ceremony, where we go through the cast of characters, which is usually their mother, father, brothers, sisters, spouse, kids. We go through each one and we rip up the soul agreement and we forgive. And that really helps to release karma. I'm actually working on a 20-part series on forgiveness, so stay tuned for that. After we're all done, then what I do is I go and I email the recording to the client. This way they're able to listen to it in the future and they can still get the healing. They'll get continuous healings from listening to it. There's so many benefits to listening to the session again and again because you continually are getting the healing, which is very important. So you really only need one session. The only time I have done multiple sessions was when there was historical information, so it was more of a curiosity, not really for healing. A typical QHHT session only needs to be done one time. There is no need for it to be done more than once because everything gets done in one shot. That's why it takes as long as it takes. So most clients are usually leaving my studio between 4 and 6 p.m. But this 15-hour one was a little bit different because we didn't actually get started until the evening. And it was interesting doing a session at nighttime with the lights on because you don't want to do it in the dark. I need to be able to see. Well, I hope that answers all your questions about what goes on in a QHHT session. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see more of you later. I want you to know that I make these videos because I want you to remember who you truly are. You are a spirit being having a human experience. You come from a place of unconditional love. You are perfect in every way. You just don't remember it sometimes. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up so I know to record more videos like this. Thank you.